Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We'll give it a minute for everyone to roll in. We've already got a good number of folks in here today. While you're coming in, I want to know where you are tuning in from, where in the world. We've got a community of just global practitioners here with us. And so I always love to see where everyone's coming in from. I'm Evita, and I'm tuning in from Calgary, Alberta, where the weather is pretty sunny and warm. So I'll take that. What about you? Okay, Ayman's from Toronto. I love that. And I will, Demetra from Tennessee. Awesome. Amanda, why don't you join us on stage as well? And then we will kick us off. Super. So, hi, everyone. This is Unlocking Growth, a live demo of Practice Better and That Clean Life. I'm joined by Amanda Hester, our product aka our Practice Better in-house expert. And I'm Evita Basilio. I'm a registered dietitian, and I'll also be representing That Clean Life today. For our demo, we are going to first show you Practice Better, which many of you already know us, but if you don't, it's an EHR, or practice management software for health professionals that allows practitioners to get rid of a clunky system using a bunch of different tools that don't integrate really well, and say hello instead to a streamlined workflow that allows you to run, grow, scale the practice of your dreams. So you're here because you're probably curious about how Practice Better can help you streamline your workflow and grow your practice. So Amanda will first walk us through several features that will help you, kind of like the platform's, I'd say, like most powerful features, and show you how to use them effectively in your business. So Amanda's going to dive into customizable forms, Practice Better payments, telehealth and AI charting, protocols, third-party integrations, and the client client portal, as well as items like reports and notes. And then next, I will go into That Clean Life, which is a nutrition planning software for high performance health professionals and nutrition professionals. And I will be showing you how to create nutrition related content for all of your services, how to get access to our big library of recipes using pre-made done for you plans and templates within That Clean Life, automating your nutrition planning process, how to share nutrition resources, and how to integrate That Clean Life with Practice Better. So I'll hand it over to Amanda to take over for our Practice Better demo. And I will just say, remember to use that chat function. It's going to be on the right-hand side to chat with each other, to chat with us. But if you have any questions for Amanda and myself, use the Q&A function so that we don't miss anything. And we've got Sam Nicholson in our chat as well. So Sam will be helping to moderate the chat for both Practice Better and That Clean Life. And he is your go-to person as we go through this demo today. And then Amanda and I will take questions at the very end. All right, over to you, Amanda.
All right, let me pull up. Let's pull up Practice Better. Thanks everyone for coming. Thanks for the interest for the product. And let's just take a second to appreciate everyone's that's come in to through this. I've seen that there's a really great mix of practitioners, and one of the best things about Practice Better is that it can really be used by a ton of people in a ton of different ways because it is just so robust, and you just have the ability to turn it into what you need it to be. So I do have a list of things that I'm going to go over today. But before I get started, I'd like to mention that what we're actually looking at is the dashboard. So the great thing about Practice Better is that everyone's going to have a unique login. Whether you are a solo practitioner or you're on a team, everyone will have their own login, which will take them to their own dashboard. And this dashboard is customizable, so yours may look a little bit different as you're getting started, but keep in mind that you have the ability to edit it and make it look the way that you want it to. But one of the great things about this dashboard is you can also brand it. So it actually looks like it fits for your practice, not Practice Better. So with our Plus plan and above, you'll have the ability to add your own logo and change your colors. So for instance, if I go to this little gear icon up here to the top right, and I scroll down kind of to the bottom and I click logo and branding, you'll see that I actually have the ability to pull up my logo as well as change the color. So I already have my logo in here, but let's just say that I pick a random color and then I go to save those changes. I'm actually going to update the entire portal. So let's reload Practice Better. I'm not sure what's happening. There it goes. So we're going to reload Practice Better. And then from there, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go back to our dashboard. So you can see that the color's changed. My logo is visible. And the great thing is that this actually carries to your clients as well, which we'll talk about just in a moment. But now that we're in the portal, we have it looking exactly like we want it to look. The next thing that I would suggest is just diving into our third-party integrations. This is actually where you use that CleanLife as well. So if we go back to that little gear icon and we come down and we go to third-party integrations, it'll take us to a few of these. I'm actually going to deep dive into a couple of these within our little demo today, but I do like to mention that there are a lot more than what I'm going to mention. So we actually integrate with Google Calendar. We're going to integrate with WholeScript and FullScript, Rupa, Avexia for labs, that CleanLife, as we mentioned, Zoom, and we have integrations like Dropbox, Zapier, things that just help you connect Practice Better to all the other software that you are using to make it more streamlined, to help bring everything together. You can actually set up any of these third-party integrations as you're getting started, so that way they actually can be used throughout Practice Better as you're building it. Mine are already linked, so I'm not going to walk through too many of them, but we will see how some of them work today. Going back to that, so at this point, you have made your portal what you want it to be. You've updated your third-party integrations. You've connected that CleanLife, and you're ready to really get started. So I think the best place to really start within Practice Better is actually services. Services are really important to Practice Better because they actually are what your clients are going to book. You need services to book like for them. You need services to add to the booking pages. Services help you update payments. They'll help break down your calendar, different things like that. So it's really important that you build those out. So we're looking at a list of services. Yours will probably look different. Mine's pretty basic here, but when you go into any of these services, it's going to pull up the same information. It's going to pull up the name. It's going to give you the ability to put in the description, but it's also going to give you, it's going to ask for the duration. Keep in mind that durations are always broken down into minutes. So for instance, if you're running something for 2 hours, it's actually 120 minutes because it's going to break down your calendar in minutes as well, which we'll talk about. You'll also decide on your payment options here. We actually have a fully integrated payment system called Practice Better Payments. But with Practice Better Payments, you have the ability to do a fixed fee, of course. So this would be $150. Or you can do payment plans. So for instance, $50, 3 payments of $50. Or you can do ongoing payments. So this is like memberships. You could initially charge $49.99 for as long as you wanted to, as long as your client's working with you. But you'll actually start making those decisions within our service. The next thing that I mentioned is actually your service availability. So within Practice Better, as we mentioned, I'll go over telehealth, but we do have the ability for you to run one-on-one telehealth sessions directly through Practice Better. So with your service availability, you decide if you want to do by phone or that online option in person. You'll make sure to click these little boxes so that it's available for your clients as they're booking. And then you'll select a default method. The default method will default the service when the client books it if they don't select a different way. I also think it's great to mention that you can actually also tailor your notifications based on your service. So within Practice Better, you can send email and SMS notifications with the Plus plan, with a professional plan and above, actually. And you actually have the ability to tailor those. So if you're creating, like, say, this session confirmation email here, you have the ability to input what you want it to look like and what you want it to say. So it's actually notifying your client that they actually did book the session and that it's on your calendar. The same with any upcoming session reminder. The only difference here is that you can, of course, build out your SMS template. So this gives you the ability to create a 150 character reminder that will be text that your clients will receive as a text. So once you've updated your service and it has all the settings that you want it to have and it's controlled the way that you initially would want it to be controlled, you can actually just save it here. that will add it to the list of services within your service page. And then you can start to really work throughout Practice Better. You can start by creating packages. So another tool within services is packages. That just means that you can offer a cluster of services or so many sessions plus a program, different things like that. So your clients can book all those at once, or they can do them once a month. However you want to really set that up. Once you have all of your services and your packages built, the next thing that you're going to want to do is actually create availability. So moving on, we've created our service. We had them set up. What comes next? We actually want to add time for those services on our calendar. So Practice Better has a fantastic availability tool that allows you to control your schedule. So instead of booking time that you don't want people to book, you're actually going to create time blocks of sessions that you actually do want booked. So for instance, let's say that you have an initial consultation. You only want to run that on Wednesday from 9:30 to 1:30. We can actually click and drag a box to 1:30. It's going to pull up what type of session we want to create availability for, and then we simply just toggle on the services we want to offer at that time. So like I said, an initial consultation, we can actually restrict this. So maybe you only want to offer these on in person at that time. We can update that. We can also make the time block reoccur. So this means that you can create your weekly schedule if you want it to always be available. And of course, we can color code everything. So within Practice Better, you have a fully functional calendar. So you have the ability to color code everything ahead of time, so your calendar actually becomes color coded. Once you've created your time blocks, you'll get what you see here. So this is my regular weekly schedule. And this will live here until I initially change it. But the great thing about this schedule now is that my clients can actually book with me. So we can actually move on to the booking process. So if we go back to my services, we'll pull up that list of services again, but now my initial consultation has availability. So I can do a couple of different things here. If I click these three little dots, it's going to give me a share link so I can share the single service, or even better, I can go to booking pages and widgets as a setting right below the My Services and Packages here. And I can actually pull up public booking pages. And this gives me the ability to create booking pages the way that I want them to be seen to my clients or to the public. So let's just jump into one of these. Let's grab a link here. It'll pull up this, and then with our Teams plan, you can list your other practitioners. You can initially update your location if it's in person, different things like that. But they'll see a list of actual services that I want on this booking page, or programs. We can actually put our programs on this booking page as well. But if I click into any of these, it actually starts to ask a couple of questions. So it's asking what practitioner I want to work with. How do I want to run this service? How do I want to have this service? What day and time do I want to actually run this? Does the client want to have the session? Once we're done with that, we're going to click next, and it's actually going to take us to collect some information. The great thing about your service and your booking page is that you control them. So we can actually make it, we can actually have it to where you require payment up front. So maybe your session is $50. We can actually start to process that. We can add forms here so that you can input other questions that you may have if you want to ask more than what we're seeing here. Different things like that. So you really get to control these booking pages and what's asked, and then what information comes to you once the booking is actually made. So once a client actually books with you, they've actually used that booking page that you've created, what will then happen is it will become a session request. So one of the great things about Practice Better is we're looking for ways to give you more time back in your day to do what you do best, which is initially work with your clients. So we can actually automate accepting those sessions that come through that booking page, and we can automate sending out the forms that go along with those sessions. So that means instead of seeing these requests here, we will accept it. We'll put it on your calendar where it will show up color coded, and you have the comfort of knowing that we've actually already sent your forms out. So now that we've worked through booking and creating a service, there are some other things that I think are really important to mention about getting set up. The first would be Practice Better Payments, our fully integrated payment system. Our fully integrated payment system allows you to not only process payments, but it gives you the ability to create discounts and coupons. You'll have the ability to process refunds. You get to edit your invoices as you'd like. So if we pull up an invoice I have here, you can see that I can update the header, the footer, I can update the invoice number, the date, I can add extra line items that I have, services and programs, different things like that. I get to really control what I want this invoice to look like before I actually send it to my client, or with Practice Better Payments, I'll be able to process it directly throughout Practice Better. And once I process it with Practice Better Payments, I'll actually get you'll actually get a dashboard as well that follows your billing directly from like step 1 to step 5. So you always know where your payment is at and what's happening next and when you're going to get paid. Once you send out an invoice, it will go to the client portal, which we'll talk a little bit more after this. But keep in mind that you can always review your invoices and your payments throughout Practice Better in our Billing and Invoices tab that we're in right now. So now that we've set up our billing, we've set up our scheduling, what comes next? I would want to send forms to my clients, make sure that I'm collecting the right information and they're accepting the disclaimers and different things they would need to. So we actually have an entire forms and waivers tool within Practice Better. So I like to mention with forms that we understand how hard these are to build and how hard they are to keep up. So we actually offer a fantastic template library for forms, notes, and programs. So feel free to use any of our pre-made items that would be available in your portal when getting started. And you do that by clicking Create a Template here. What that will do is it'll pull up a list of form templates if you're in the forms, or you can click templates up here, which would give you a list of all 72 pre-made items that we have right now. But you can actually use our forms template library and break it down even better. So we can go by practitioner. Maybe you're a dietitian. So you want to see what forms we have for dietitians. And then from here, you actually have the ability to view it before you ever add it to your forms. When you view a form, you can see what it's going to look like as it's getting started. And if you decide to add it, you actually get the availability, you actually get the option to edit it. So you can make it your own. It doesn't have to stay standard like this. So if we go back into our forms and waivers tool here in the middle of my practice list, you can see that I already have some created. But if I go into one of these, this is actually, it's actually a template. If I go into this, you can see that I can delete with this little trash can here, but I can also add questions from a list of different types of questions. So this is actually really great because maybe you have a table that is really important that gets filled out, or maybe you need to update, you need to have like a long response so they can initially tell you their story. You have the ability to decide what type of question and the way you want it to be answered within our forms tool. And you can, like I said, update all of our templates so that it looks and acts the way that you want it to. I will also mention, just really quickly, that you can, of course, create forms on your own. So this little red button with the white plus that you will see all throughout this demo is called a fast action button. This is where you can initially pull up all the tools that are within the section you're in. But in the forms, you have create a form. And this will just pull up a blank form creator. So you get to name this form. You get to add whatever questions you'd want to. You get to really just build it out your own way if you don't want to use our templates. I also think that it's really important to mention with forms that we actually offer some other really great tools that you can use. So one of those is called conditional flow. This means that we can actually transform the form based on answers that are already being asked, that are already being given. So for instance, let's say that you're asking someone if they're male or female and they say female, and then you have a question about pregnancy. With conditional flow, when they click female, the pregnancy question will actually appear. It doesn't actually live on the form unless the answer is selected prior to that. So if somebody were to select male, they wouldn't have to answer that question. We also offer with our forms, mapping. Mapping is actually one of my favorite tools. It definitely helps just make it easier as your clients are getting started. With mapping, what we can do is we can actually take form answers from the forms that you're building, and we can actually put them throughout Practice Better. So for instance, let's say that somebody is telling us on this form, they're pulling in their age. We can actually move that age to like personal information. We can pull in supplements. If they're taking supplements, we have a medication tracker that, you can initially map their medications to the tracker. This just allows them to fill out the form, and then Practice Better will put all of that information in the right place. So when you need it in the future, it's there. And the last thing that I like to mention, just really quickly about forms, is they actually work with our automations. As we said earlier, we can automate sending forms based on when sessions are booked, but we can also send forms after sessions if we need to. We can utilize automations with forms so we can input notes to them, different things like that. What we're looking at now is our automations tool. Keep in mind that I'm talking about forms, but we offer a ton of automations that can be used throughout all of Practice Better, and forms is a great place to start using those automations. Okay, and then we'll just kind of keep moving on. So now that you've sent your forms, everyone's booked, everybody's getting ready to initially pay you so that you can get paid. The next thing is working with your client. And of course, like I said, we have a telehealth option. So I like to mention when I talk about telehealth that we do have a one-on-one telehealth solution built into Practice Better that can use on any of our plans, whether that is Plus or Starter, so you have access to that. The only thing that I think is important to mention is that if you wanted to run any type of group session, you would have to use the Zoom integration that we offer. Our telehealth is one-on-one, so you would initially need to update to Zoom to run more than you and more than one person. So you can actually just do that in your telehealth settings. So you'll actually set these up as you're getting started. So you can see that I have a default to Practice Better. I'm also making sure that I use it in the same tab. So for instance, if I go into a client and I go to start a session, it's going to pull it up directly inside of Practice Better for me. So if I pull this up, you can see I'm on a session page now where I can initially add session notes. I can send the invoices we mentioned. I can send those forms, different things like that. But if I start the session, it actually puts me directly into the telehealth, the Practice Better telehealth solution. From here, Joyce, my client, is actually waiting in a waiting room. She's waiting on me to start. And once I start the session, I have a couple of really great tools. The first is up here on the top right, you'll see this little person icon. That's actually going to pull up all of Joyce's information. So if I send her one of those forms prior to this meeting and she's filled out, I can pull up those answers. I can pull up her medical history. I can pull up any labs or anything that I have within her record. So I can actually have a conversation with her without leaving the telehealth tool. I get to actually pull it up. The second thing that I think is important to mention is I can also take notes. With the notes, with Practice Better's notes tool, initially what happens is you'll actually build note templates, which I can show you in just a moment. But after you build those templates, we can use that directly inside of the telehealth tool. So I can actually pull up the note. It'll pull in some of Joyce's information that I already have within the portal, and then I can actually keep talking to Joyce instead of having to have a second screen or going from tab to tab. And the last thing I think to mention about notes is that if you're using our telehealth or you're actually in person, you can use our AI charting feature. This allows us to take notes for you. So we actually offer what's called the AI Charting Assistant. It is an add-on for all plans that is 60 cents an hour, but what it does is it actually records the session for you, which you can then play back. But our AI will actually break down the conversation into a summary. It'll offer you the ability to play back the audio recording, or it'll give you a full transcript. From there, it'll actually pull action items from the conversation. So it's saying, I think this is what was most important or what was mentioned as next steps within this conversation. Back to our automations, we can automate putting this into a note template for you. So that way, instead of you instead of you having to chart while you're in that telehealth session or with that client, our AI will actually do it for you. Moving on, we did mention note templates, so I will just mention really quickly, you actually build note templates very similar to forms. You'll come into our note tool, which you can create from a template, and then it gives you the ability to edit it and input different boxes that you may need. These templates are what you would initially pull up in that telehealth session or in an in-person session, and they're just ready to go. Right. And then the last thing that I think is really important to mention when working with your clients on a day would be protocols. One of my favorite things about protocols is it's actually a great place to work with that clean life. So a protocol is similar to a care plan. This is what you're going to suggest for your client to do, or it's a lot of information that they can have on their own. So if I go into one of these pre-built ones that I have here, it's actually going to pull up the information I have built inside of it. So it's going to offer images, audio, video, anything you want to put inside of this content box. But it's also going to give you the ability to create food recommendations and lifestyle recommendations, different things that you think are just really important that your client should have access to. But if we scroll down, we can also add in our meal plans from that clean life, or we can add in our collections. We can add single recipes. We can just put nutrition into the protocol so your client can easily access it from their portal. And the way you do that is initially we started those third-party integrations. We've connected that clean life. And if we click add another, what it does is it will pull up that clean life resources. So from here, we can actually filter out based on what we're looking for, and then we can go into that section directly. From there, we can see the recipes that we've added here. But if we click view, you'll actually see that we have the ability to see the recipe, the nutrition, the different things for it. So we can make sure that it is the right one that we initially want to use. Once we add that, you'll just click here and then you can add it. Once you do that, it'll actually become part of the protocol. So when you send this to your clients, they actually have access to that clean life resources. This is also where you use our integration with Fullscript and WholeScript. So this is where you would initially put your supplement recommendations. Very similar to that clean life, you will click add another, and then it will actually pull up the catalog of the integration you're using. So we're actually looking at my Fullscript catalog right now. From here, I can select what I want to initially look at. From there, it'll pull up a list of what's within that section, and then it'll give me the ability to input my frequency, my duration, my serving, different things like that. And it'll actually attach it directly to the protocol. So when you send it to the client, they have access to this Fullscript item. But it will also send them a link that they can click. And within that link, they'll be taken directly to Fullscript, to a cart where they can purchase these items to make it a little bit easier on them there. And then, of course, you can add your own documents, different things like that. But the best thing about protocols is you only need to build them once. They actually become templates that you can use over and over again for your clients now and in the future. And you just simply go in and edit them. So if you needed to change a meal plan or you needed to add a different supplement, you can just edit it. And then you can simply create for the client and it'll move to the client's actual portal, which we'll touch on here in just a moment. All right. So now we've initially everyone's booked. We have worked with them. What comes next? Just some admin tools that I think are really important to mention throughout Practice Better. The first, the most important, I think, would actually be our reports section. So our report section is a great way for you to get a bird's eye view of what you're doing inside of Practice Better. So we can do like a session history report, we can see payment history, we can see like form responses, different things like that. But if we click into any of these, it actually creates a report based on the filters that you're going to use. So we can base it on like period. If you're on the Teams plan, we can base it with the practitioner. We can base it on service or status, different things like that. But it gives you the ability to see what services are being ran, like what client you're working with the most. Is there a session that's not being used very often? Is the average time between sessions kind of high, different things like that. You could just really get a bird's eye view of Practice Better and what's happening within it. And then the last thing that I would just mention before I switch screens really quickly to show you, because I definitely want to show you the client portal, is that with our Teams plan, you actually get what's called team collaboration. This means that you can actually work with your entire team throughout Practice Better, even though you have unique logins. So each person will be invited to Practice Better that you send an invite to, and then from there we can create roles and permissions for those people. So we offer the ability to have practitioners and admins within Practice Better. There is a difference, and I do like to be honest about it. So keep in mind that practitioners work with clients. They're going to start telehealth sessions. They're going to build forms. They're going to need to take notes. And admins are going to be supportive. They're going to be, I think, scheduling assistant or office manager, someone that may process a payment or update a session, something similar to that. But with our Teams plan, you have the ability to set what type of permissions they have. And what resources they have access to. So you can actually share whatever resources you've built or your team has built throughout our Teams plan. Okay, so one of my all-time favorite parts about Practice Better is that your client actually gets a portal as well. Everyone works within Practice Better, and because you've put all this time and all this effort into this portal, your clients can also enjoy getting access to these tools. So I'm going to share a different screen so I can show you the client portal really quickly. Let me pull it up here. Here we go. All right, so what we're seeing right now is the client portal. If you remember, we actually updated the color of this. So if I refresh it, it should turn blue. There it goes. So as you can see, my client can see my branding as well as my colors that I've picked here. Two other things that I think are very important to mention about this portal. Your client's only going to see what you share with them. So for instance, if you never see this if you never send them an invoice, they'll never see this pay an invoice tile. So keep that in mind. They can only see what you share with them. And the third thing is that with access to the chat also gives your clients the ability to use a secure direct messaging function. The secure chat option gives you the ability to create group chats between clients, between your team, different things like that. You'll be able to start telehealth sessions from here, add like shared documents. You can initially add like a little emoji if you have something they like to say. You can pin messages, different things like that. It gives you a direct connection to your client and your client a direct connection to you. The best part about this is you can, of course, can turn it off, but you can also set autoresponders and character limits. So you get to control how much your clients are talking to you and when. So back into the portal. So the portal is their single source of truth. This is where they'll see their upcoming sessions. This is where they'll see invoices, programs, anything that they're working with, they'll see that here. If you send them forms, they actually fill them out in here. So you can see that they can actually put in their own information here. Of course, they'll click Save and Submit, and when they do that, you'll receive a notification that the form's been filled out. It'll go directly to the client portal, the client record in your portal, and you'll have access to it. They can pay their invoices directly inside of here, so they can pull up any of their invoices. They can click Pay Now, and it gives them the ability to input their card information, which they can store inside of this portal. It also gives them the ability to see those protocols that you would have created. So they'll see that order supplements link that I mentioned, or if they go directly into here, they'll see the content you have that you've built in here, as well as your nutrition plans that you've shared or your recipes. They'll see their supplement chart at the very bottom, and they can download this at any time. So they can initially save to their computer, stick it on a refrigerator, or sit on their desk, wherever they would be able to use it the best. You can also create tasks for this portal. So with tasks, your clients actually have to come in and complete the task, so that way you know that it was finished. And you'll also get notifications for that. And then the last thing that I like to mention about the portal is giving access to the portal also gives you the ability to give access directly to our food, mood, and lifestyle journal. This is a great tool for your clients as they are able to register the foods that they're eating. They're able to track their exercise. They can track their sleep, different things like that directly through Practice Better. And of course, it is a mobile app, so they can do it directly on their phone. But the best part about it is it actually lives directly inside the portal, so they can go back to it, and it connects to wearables. So you're actually able to see information from Garmin, Apple, Chronometer, Aura, and Fitbit. So they can actually connect those directly to Practice Better. We can gain that information. And then because it's going into their lifestyle journal, it'll actually let you know that there's a journal entry as well. With the journal entry, you can analyze it, you can set goals and targets, you can make comments, different things like that. It's a great way for you to see what they're doing day to day and give you the ability to really work with them on a one-to-one basis. So this is the client portal. Like I said, I think this is just a fantastic tool, and you can, because you can brand it, it looks like it's actually yours. So the last thing that I would just mention, because we went through a lot of tools, is let me jump back in and share my practitioner screen really quickly. There it is. So we've talked about a lot of things. I do like to mention that Practice is a very robust system. And while I walk you through all of these things, keep in mind that you have the ability to use the tools that you want to use in the way that you want to use them. So this can, this is definitely yours to work with and build with. And then also you have the ability to decide what plan you want to be in. So with Practice Better, we actually offer 4 different plans. Today with the demo, we were actually on the Teams plan. That is one of our most purchased plans that gives you the ability to have our team collaboration tools or to allow more practitioners within Practice Better. So you'll actually start with 2 practitioners and 2 admin, and then you have the ability to add up to 100 practitioners and 20 admin. Extra practitioners are $35 a month and admin are $10 a month. We also have the Plus plan. The Plus plan is our most purchased plan. This is for a solo practitioner that is just honestly just kind of rocking it. They have the ability to input an admin, but from here you'll have the ability to have your personalized branding, your text reminders. You'll get a dedicated fax number, just everything that you would need to really manage your practice. But we also offer Starter and Professional for those that aren't quite at that point. Keep in mind that you get access to most of our tools on all of these plans. The only difference with Starter and Professional that I like to mention is there is a client limit. So with Professional, you can have up to 300, and with Starter, you can have 10. And then you can't do reoccurring billing, so like those memberships, until you're on Professional, and you can't send text reminders, except for on Professional. You can purchase credits for that. So keep in mind that you still can use our tools and different things. They just become like a little bit of an add-on cost. But yeah, absolutely. So like I said, we have a bunch of different plans here, and I always like to mention that I hope you're asking questions in the chat, but for any reason, if you're not, feel free to reach out to hello@practicebetter.io. That will actually connect you directly to our product advocate team, who can reply to your emails and help get you started if you would like to learn more or anything else. All right, coming back into this. I'm going to pull up this portal, and I'm actually going to open it up for questions. I'd love to know what type of questions people have, and if there's anything in particular that I could answer.
Yeah, let's get into it. So in the questions, the first one is, will this session be recorded? Yes, it is being recorded, and the replay will be sent out probably tomorrow. So if you missed anything, don't worry, we will be coming back to it. And then Sam, why don't I pass it to you to pick out the questions for Amanda?
Sure, that sounds like a plan. Can you hear me okay? Awesome. Okay. Yeah, we did have some questions come in, Amanda, and let me know if you want me to answer any of them. So the first was asked is it possible to mass email or broadcast prospective clients?
Prospective clients, possibly. So we don't have any marketing tools. I do want to be completely honest. So don't think like mass email. You do have the ability to send broadcasts throughout Practice Better. With prospective clients, they would still need to initially be within your client list. So we would need the email, of course, to broadcast to them. And then you can actually broadcast through our messaging system that I mentioned earlier.
Cool. And then someone had asked, I think this is when you were talking about the AI, they asked, so will the AI transcript also chart into the selected note template?
Yes, it will. So that is actually one of our fantastic automations. So we can actually help set up your AI charting so that it automatically goes directly to a note template of your choosing, directly to the client's record, so you have access to it after the session.
Cool. And then we had a question from Dr. Shankar, which I can answer. So you'd asked, can you share a patient / refer a patient to another practitioner? So at the moment, we don't have the option for sending information to a referring practitioner. So what you can do instead is if you go to the My Client section there for me, please, Amanda, at the top, and just go to View All. Cool. And just press the 3 dots on the far right-hand side beside one of your clients there. You can press that little export data button towards the bottom. That would allow you to perform an export of the client record. You could choose to export like everything, or if it was, for example, you just need to send your session notes to a referring provider, you could just download their session notes. You can download all this stuff. You would be able to download that, and then it would create like PDF copies of everything, and from there you can forward it to whoever you would need to. And then there was an option. There was a question here. So, is there an option for one-on-one onboarding with Practice Better? I can answer that one too because I work on the onboarding team. So yeah, we do provide onboarding calls for users on our Plus and our Team plans. You will receive an automated email once you register with a link to book with us. On those calls, we help you get kind of set up with the core of what you need. Like as you can see right now with the demo, there's a lot you can do with Practice Better. So it's to help streamline and focus in on the things that you need to do to start seeing clients, and then we can schedule follow-up calls as required. So yeah, definitely feel free if you register. You should get an immediate email to book an onboarding call with us. And there was another question here. Let's see. So you'd also asked, what about if you need to block time off within a set availability? So Amanda, maybe you can just go over how to create an event, block off time in Practice Better if you didn't do so already.
So are we asking like just like a calendar event? So like for instance,
exactly.
if they wanted, yeah. So that's really simple. So like I said, you will have a full access to a calendar within Practice Better. Keep in mind that it does integrate with Google Calendar, so we can make that two-way. So if it's on Google Calendar, it'll automatically block that off. But you can also just come in and click where you want to initially book off time within your calendar, or where you want to set up a session. From there, as you can see, you can create like group sessions, you can add an event, different things like that, and then you just input your information there.
That sounds good.
I will also mention just really quickly, on the Teams plan, you can actually work with your Teams calendar as well. So if you're working with more than one practitioner, you can work together calendar-wise.
Great. Okay, and then another question here. So let me just go through my list here. I can answer this one. Can you include an outside link for an invoice? So at the moment, you cannot. So how it will work is you can create an invoice in the system for a client, and then you can send the invoice to their email address. So they'll get an email telling them that they have an invoice to pay, and they can just click on the button right in the email to pay the invoice. But you can generate like an external link for that invoice at the moment. So you can just email the client the copy of the invoice. Or if you want, as Amanda mentioned earlier in their demo, you can do when a client's like booking online with you, you can require payment at the time booking to have an invoice automatically generated there as well. And then Jordan had asked, I need a way for new clients to connect with me via messaging. Do they need to have an account or be manually added to Practice Better before this can happen? So that's a good question, Jordan. I'll answer that one as well. So in order for you to communicate with a client in our software, they do have to have an existing client record. Like they do need to like exist in the My Client section. If they're not in the system as a client record, then you would not have the ability to message them. And as Amanda covered, the messaging, how how it works is in order for you to use the direct chat, the client needs to be invited and activate their account in Practice Better. If you wanted to send them like email broadcasts, they do not have to be invited. You can email any client, but they do have to exist as a client record in the system. And then I think a few more chat questions came up.
Yeah, I moved them to the top if you'll see them at the top of the Q&A.
Nice. Okay, so I'm going to scroll up here. Joseph asked, is there an easy way to import a new form? So not at the moment, Joseph. You have to build the form in the form builder ourselves. I know it can seem daunting, but I've built forms myself in the past. And once you kind of get the swing of it, it is usually pretty straightforward. You can just open up your form on one tab and open up your Practice Better form in one tab, and then open up your existing form in another, and just kind of recreate that using the corresponding elements. We do also have, it is a paid service, but we do also have a paid form building service with our support team. So if you were interested in that, you could always reach out to our support team. You could provide the forms that you would like to build in like PDF or Word format, and they can provide you a quote as to how much it would cost to build. And then, sorry, a couple other questions here. Sorry, you mentioned that you did not get a link to book an onboarding call. Yeah, you should have on the Plus or the Team plan. So if you didn't, just feel free to email us at success@practicebetter.io. We can link you up with an onboarding call if you just email us there. Okay, and then a couple other questions. Sorry, Amanda, I didn't mean to take these all over, but just sometimes easier to ask them and answer. So Virginia asked, if we have a protocol, can we edit it for a specific client, share the edited version of them, and still keep both the original and the edited version saved? So yes, depending on which option you're referring to. Like if you are creating a protocol from a template and you create that for the client, when you select the template and are then creating that protocol for them, any changes that you make will just be specific for that client without changing the original template. So you would be able to do that. If you do duplicate a protocol as well, you can edit that without updating the original too. So that's a yes on both fronts. And then, yeah, I think unless I don't want to take up too much time, so I know we have Avita's going to do some That Clean Life stuff. Avita, did you want to dive into that now, or did you still want me to go over a few more questions?
Sure, I'll dive into it, Sam. And then if you still have questions out there, Sam will respond in chat or with the question itself. So keep those questions coming in about Practice Better. Sam and Amanda are standing by ready to help. But if we don't get to those questions today, you can always email us at hello@practicebetter.io. And then I'll jump into That Clean Life's demo, Amanda, if you want to stop sharing, and then I can take over.
It's all yours.
Sweet. Let's take a 10 to 30 second break right now before we move on to That Clean Life. So let's take a quick stretching break. I want you to do a little shoulder roll, slowly roll your shoulders forward and then backwards for a few repetitions. Let's stretch a little bit. You can do some neck stretching. So gently tilt your head to the right and then to the left, and then forward and backward, feeling a gentle stretch there. Or you can do some arm circles, make large circles with your arms, first forward and then backward, engaging your shoulder muscles. And you can continue to do this as I dive into That Clean Life's demo, because I want you to make sure, you've been sitting here for close to an hour now. So make sure you get some stretches in as we go into That Clean Life. So as I mentioned, That Clean Life is a nutrition planning software to help you create different types of nutrition plans. So most people, when we say nutrition plans, think meal plans, but it's not the same thing. So think of a meal plan as a detailed eating plan that outlines daily meals and it includes recipes and an itemized shopping list. But sometimes a client just isn't following a meal plan. So they might prefer, say, like a collection of recipes that they can pick and choose from. So that's where you'd create a recipe collection. And other clients might just be interested in client-led meal planning. So this is where you can set up clients with a collection of recipes along with a blank meal plan, and you guide them through creating their own meal plan. So the type of nutrition plan that you choose will depend on your clients and their unique needs. Over at That Clean Life, we've seen firsthand that a lot of successful practitioners use Practice Better and That Clean Life together in order to leverage the power of nutrition planning within many services to attract clients, improve health outcomes, and overall to grow their business. So if you're wondering where would you see yourself using That Clean Life or nutrition planning within your practice, you can incorporate nutrition planning into your practice by including it in your several services, like your one-on-one services, which are your initial and follow-up nutrition consults and one-on-one nutrition coaching packages. You can offer custom or personalized meal planning as an add-on service. You can create a meal planning subscription site and incorporate it into add-on nutrition services like a grocery store tour, pantry makeover, cooking class, workshop, or webinar. You could sell nutrition plans like a digital nutrition resource, like a recipe book or pre-made meal plan. And over the past year, we've really seen online nutrition courses become an even more popular service amongst professionals. And lastly, of course, you can incorporate it in your group nutrition programs that you run through Practice Better. So there's many options, and you can offer several of these services. I also think the benefits of having multiple revenue streams with That Clean Life and Practice Better is so important, as it creates a financial safety net. It prevents burnout and provides more options for clients to work with you. So depending on your client's needs, you can, guide them to the right service offer. All of these things will ultimately help you grow your nutrition business and your nutrition practice. So with that, I'll dive into showing you a little bit more about That Clean Life and how it works and how it can work within your practice. So Amanda, does my screen share look okay? Give me a thumbs up if yeah.
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So welcome to That Clean Life. This is nutrition planning software for high performance health professionals, like I mentioned. That Clean Life makes it easy to provide the right nutrition plan for the right client in the right way with ease, helping you really elevate your client experience and make your clients more successful and grow your business. So you're really with That Clean Life, there are 3 types of nutrition plans that you can create. And I mentioned that is you can create a meal plan with recipes, with shopping lists, with things like a prep guide. So within our templates, you can even check out our prep guides over here. And so a lot over there, and we've got evidence within all of our templates too. So let's head over to one of our templates and check out the evidence section. So all of our meal plans and done for you plans come with these. You could create recipe collections using That Clean Life, and you can also create those meal planning guides, which are recipe collection and a blank plan to empower clients to do their own meal planning. With That Clean Life, you get access to over 7,200 recipes, and you can find the right recipes in seconds. So with over 100 ways to filter recipes, so things like time, number of ingredients, tags like cooking appliance, cultural cuisine, dietary condition or dietary pattern, free from tags, and things like meal type, meal time, and protein options. You can filter by ingredients you want to include or exclude, and you can filter by nutrition information, calories, macronutrients, vitamins, and minerals. So like I said, over 100 ways to filter within these 7,200 recipes. You can quickly find the right recipes for your clients, no matter how complex their needs are. And rest assured, these are recipes that your clients will love. So our team of professional recipe developers actually creates, tests, and photographs every single recipes, so you can save time and create your plans with confidence. These recipes are also an ever-growing collection. So we add about between 20 to 30 recipes every week. So you can regularly keep your clients engaged with new recipes. When you are creating nutrition plans, there's 3 ways to do that as well. You can create by a blank plan, so using that recipe database to create a plan from scratch. Or you can use our automator, where all you have to do is add your client's dietary goals, like their calories, macronutrients, any dietary needs that they have, and we'll come up with a starting point for you in no time. Or you can use our templates. Like I mentioned, it's a range of ready-to-use templates, over 150 options here to save time and jumpstart any client experience with a comprehensive evidence-based meal plan. And whatever type of resource you create within That Clean Life, you can share and delight your clients immediately, either through sharing securely through a shared link. All you do is click share, turn on sharing, set your share permissions if you'd like your clients to edit their plans, you want them to export as PDF, review health insights, nutrition facts. And this will land it's a unique link that lands your client into our software for an interactive and real-time experience. Or you can export their meal plan or the recipe collection. You can convert any of their resources into a beautifully branded PDF to upload to your practice management software like Practice Better, and you set all of your how you want that PDF to look like as well really quickly through those PDF exports. I'd love to show you just how the automator works to show you what meal planning can look like for that creation process. So to create your meal plans, you can, like I mentioned, start with a blank plan and customize it from scratch, or you can use our automator to generate a meal plan based on your client's dietary needs. So for example, if we have a client named Marian, so we'll do Marian's meal plan. Let's say we want to choose 7 days of the week. Let's do 3 meals and 2 snacks. And let's say Marian was recently diagnosed with celiac disease and needs to follow a strict gluten-free diet, and she has polycystic ovarian syndrome and feels better eating foods low in the glycemic index. And she's also sensitive to peaches and nectarines, and maybe is concerned that she won't have anything left to eat. I just blurted out like a whole bunch of nutrition restrictions, which can be really overwhelming if you've got a client like that and you don't know where to start. So I want to show you how easy it will be to set up a nutrition plan for Marian. So let's say we want to do a plan that's 1,800 calories. Again, you don't have to set a calorie and macro distribution, but here I just will to show you what that looks like. We'll do 40% fat, 40% carbs, and 20% protein. And like I mentioned, we're going to do a gluten-free and low glycemic plan to cater to celiac and PCOS. And then the exclusions will be those peaches. Let's do all of these, and then nectarines. So some of those stone fruits don't really agree with Marianne. And before you set this, we'll create a bookmark, and I'm going to call this Marianne's nutrition filter, so that you don't have to input it ever again. You just do it the one time. And sometimes I like to put the date. So we'll do May 1st, just to remember when this was created, if anything changes. So create that bookmark, and then all you do is click create plan, and the automator runs through our entire recipe database to truly create a plan so quickly. I couldn't even finish my sentence. Seconds later, a nutrition plan is generated. And once a meal plan is created, you can add your personal touch. So if a recipe in the plan isn't the right fit, you can just use the swap function to swap it with something comparable. You can mark leftovers as needed, making it easy for your client to cook once and eat multiple times. So anything grayed out is a leftover. I personally love leftovers because I don't want to be cooking all week long. But if your client just isn't into leftovers, you can also change the serving sizes and mark as, remove those leftovers so that they cook fresh every day. So it's really up to your client's needs. And during your nutrition assessment, you can figure out how they like to have their plan set up. You can drag and drop meals to organize the plan any way you want. And as you create your plan, you'll notice that the daily total nutrients, including calories, macros, any vitamins and minerals that you have in there, will update in real time. That grocery list is automatically generated and will update as you add and remove meals. But you can also create your plan from scratch if you'd like, using the blank plan, where you really handpick your several recipes for that plan. Or you could use one of our 150 templates. So these cover a wide range of dietary conditions. Each template comes with an overview, and so that an overview of the plan, the evidence section. So that goes into each, like the research behind why we created a plan a certain way. So you can even click into links and you can see the research related to that plan. So everything is really handcrafted specifically to meet your client's needs and have certain nutrition information included or excluded. And those templates also come with a prep guide, as I mentioned. And then within those templates, you get your whole meal plan done for you, recipes set, leftovers marked over correctly, nutrition checked by the registered dietitian on our team, and then that grocery list is generated. And you can easily make modifications to our templates by just making a copy of that plan over here. And you can modify it to be personalized to your client's needs. So templates, what they would do is help you to get a plan to your client in minutes. And if you want to create from scratch or you want to pick new recipes for your automated plan or your templated plan, you can, again, like I mentioned, DACLife gives you access to thousands of delicious recipes. And with over 100 ways to filter, you can really find the recipes that you need in no time. When you click on any recipe, you'll see that we have directions, notes, we have AI health insights. So these give you your client the why behind the recipes. You can choose to turn this on or off, and all AI health insights are reviewed by the registered dietitian before they get published as well. So that accuracy and assurance is provided there. You have the ability to scale a recipe up or down. You can check out the nutrition facts and tags, and you can share this all with your clients as well. And you can copy and edit a recipe any way you like as well. So if you want to make some tweaks to a recipe, feel free to do that to add your own personal touch. You can even add your own recipes to your recipe box. So that's where you could either modify all of Acting Life's recipes or add in your own recipes. Upload a photo if you'd like. When you enter any ingredients, you will calculate the nutrition information for you in real time. And while some meal plans are great for some clients, other clients just might need like a less structured approach. So Acting Life makes it easy to put together recipe books for your clients. So I've got like a heart health recipe collection over here that was created for Heart Health Month in February. So you can do recipe books if meal plans just aren't your jam. And you can use our filters to find the recipes that you need for either the meal plan or the recipe book. So I went through quite a bit, and then I had mentioned, how to share or use your PDF exports, but you can also, check in on all of your settings under your profile. So the setup wizard makes it really easy for you to get started with That Clean Life. It walks you through everything you need to know, like adding your business information, setting your preferred units of measure. So no matter where in the world you are, you can set up metric, imperial, or a combination of the two. You can choose which nutrition information you would like to display for your clients and for yourself. You can enable Instacart shopping. So when you are sending your clients their grocery list, you can also enable them to shop all of those ingredients through Instacart. Any shared links that you send to your clients, you can review that. You can change the share settings. You can see who has viewed your links or not. You can integrate Practice Better, like I mentioned. And for those PDF exports, you can change the look and feel of it. So things like, what is the color scheme you want to have for it? Even with your shared links, that business branding, I've got all of my branding in here. You have your website, your theme colors, so everything is branded to your business to make it really like seamless experience for your clients. Okay, I'm going to jump back in to see because we're just a little bit short on time. So I'm going to see if there's any other question. If there's any questions about That Clean Life, that was a really quick demo. And I want to mention that we have 2 monthly plans, a starter plan and a plus plan. Our starter plan it's more, think of the starter plan as more of a streamlined feature set for folks who are starting out or just need more general healthy eating recommendations. And our plus plan is for full access to all of the features plus unlimited shares, advanced PDF exports, and priority support. So the starter plan is $30 USD per month. The plus plan is usually $60 USD per month, but we have an offer right now that if you sign up for the annual plan, the price is reduced, and so it ends up being about 35 USD for the month. So that's a big savings over there that I highly recommend you tap into if you are thinking about the annual plan for That Clean Life, because there's a big savings when you sign up for that plan. All right, now I'll check out the questions and see if there's anything over there. Sarah, we've got a question of, is it possible to automate plans with custom recipes? We don't have that function just yet because the automator actually pulls in recipes from the overall recipe database or from That Clean Life's recipe database versus from your recipe box. So what you could do instead is to use the automator to pull in recipes from the That Clean Life's database and then add in some of your custom recipes from your recipe box. Okay. Any other questions that you're seeing there, Amanda or Sam?
No, I didn't see any other ones.
Okay, and then I just had a question about a health assessment. So if you are looking to run an assessment, like you want to gather all of the details about your client for any nutrition plan that you're creating, we have an assessment tool at That Clean Life, which helps you collect the right information so that you can build awesome nutrition plans. So I've just linked that over there. If you are not already a member of our community, we share a lot of information here today, but there's so many more demos, calls, new programs, new feature launches that happen that you might miss and that you might want to be a part of. So I highly recommend you join Practice Better's community, because that's where we're going to be announcing a lot of things. You can meet our community of practitioners, because we at Practice Better and That Clean Life can give you lots of business building tools and show you how to use a product, but it's so great to connect with other practitioners and learn from them as you grow your practice and as you gain that support. Okay, it looks like, oh, we have a question of the integration. Amanda, so actually, Virginia, do you want to see it from Practice Better side or from That Clean Life side?
Yeah, great question.
So that's a great question. But from That Clean Life side, let me just see if I can. I want to get that help article up over there. So if you are doing it from Practice Better to That Clean Life side, which is what you would need to do, I'm going to post a help article over here, which will show you how to set up your That Clean Life integration step by step, and linking your That Clean Life account. So you would need to be already an existing member of That Clean Life in order to set it up. But Amanda, anything to add over there?
No, I was actually looking for a link. We don't have a direct link. I will mention that if you want direct help with setting that up, feel free to reach out to our support team. They actually live in your Practice Better portal with the little question mark at the top right, and they're more than happy to help you set that up one-on-one if you need that.
Yeah, I have to mention, like with both Practice Better and That Clean Life, it's like world-class support. Like no matter your question that you have, both our support teams are really there to assist you in setting up your accounts, making sure that everything is working well, and making sure that integration, you're using it to its utmost possibility too. So make sure that you reach out to support whenever you have questions, or join the community, and you can always post your questions in there and gain insights from other folks in the community too of how they're using Practice Better and That Clean Life.
Yeah, of course. And also feel free to reach out to hello at practicebetter.io for any questions directly there, as well as hello at That Clean Life.
Yeah,
if you
absolutely.
have any questions, we're happy to places. Yeah.
And then, so Amanda and I, we're so grateful for your time today. Thank you for sticking around with us for over an hour of listening to us, just being able to come and seeing the demo for Practice Better and That Clean Life. We so appreciate your time. You can stick around. We're going to go off stage, but I'm going to show you the That Clean Life Instacart integration, which is brand new. So I'll pop on a video on screen. You can stick around to watch that. But thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you at other webinars with us. Bye.